Hey everyone, and welcome to Thailand. Lately, it's been all over the news that there's people who want to pack up everything that they have, particularly in the United States, who want to get out of the country, get out of Dodge. But for most people, that's a pretty difficult thing to figure out. Most people don't have experience with that. So I thought I'd make a few videos just to show you some countries you can live in. I'm going to go to a few different countries. I'll be in the Philippines in about 2 weeks. The three main topics of this channel will be where to go, how to get here, how to find a job, and other topics, whatever people write about. In this video, I'm just going to do one thing, and that is I'll introduce myself and let you know why I have perhaps a kind of experience that can help people. And yeah, who knows? Follow along and maybe I can get you set up over here in a community as well. Well, I can't, but I will try and give you the advice you might need to get you started. So from the Coding Travelbug, my name is Mike. Let's get started. Okay, so in the intro here, I dangled a little bit of red meat, showing a beautiful beach, because that's what, people who work on the road love to show. Oh, I'm by a pool, I'm getting work done, and I'm living the dream. But actually, I'm now where I normally am. So I got my Starbucks coffee here. One thing you'll find is that I will do very low production videos, partially because I don't have the technical skill to do all that, but also this isn't my job. My actual job's I'm a software developer, but because I know there's so many people now trying to find how to get abroad and what is that life like, I thought it's worth making some videos just to share my experiences. So, like I said, my name is Mike. I've been living and working on the road pretty much my entire life. My first time would have been when I was 19. I took my scholarship money and I flew over to my remote family in England, and I got a job working for my uncle for a couple months. It won't really count that. My parents were very happy that I spent my scholarship money on travel. Of course they weren't, but travel's important, I think. I would say my first real job was after I went to school in Italy for a year. After I finished my degree in Canada, I went to Italy and I studied Italian for a year in Florence. After that, I got a chance to go up to Berlin. I had a car back then, and I was there in 1989 when the Berlin Wall came down. Believe it or not, I'm that old. And I got a job working at, it was called the Berliner Schule or something like that. It was like teaching English at this school in Berlin. Completely illegal, right? Total illegal immigrant. But that was, I wanted to stay in Berlin, so I got a job. After that would have been London. I worked a year bartending in London, then went back to Canada. I finally landed what I would say is kind of my defining job, which is I worked 23 years at a university in Japan, kind of in and around Tokyo, the same campus the whole time. Also, when I was in Japan, another thing I'll talk about in a future video, when I start talking about things you can do as work, I got involved with a publishing company in Japan. So I actually have 5 textbooks that I either co-authored or authored that are still used at universities in Japan. Long story for another video. The takeaway from jobs like that is a job that still sends me beer money about twice a year, right? It's not something I'm going to get rich off. You could if you made it a full-time job, but I just did it part-time. And I got involved in a startup in Japan back in around 2012. That got me into tech. That got me into coding. I moved to Thailand in 2015, and I've been doing coding ever since. So I did my own indie apps. I got a few apps in the App Store. I had clients who were remote. One friend in Canada who hired me to do some stuff. Some other small jobs. Then I got a job working for a bank here in Thailand for 2.5 years on their iOS team. But I left that and I took a job working completely remotely for an American startup Because I'm not a 9-to-5 guy. It doesn't suit me. It turns out I'm quite lazy about things. I like to sleep as much as I want, but when I'm ready to work, I want to work when I want to work. And the nice thing about really remote work is I can do that. When my brain's on, I just get to work, and I will stand and work for 6 hours or 7 hours sometimes and just get stuff done. So I would argue that by having been around the world a lot and done a lot of stuff, I have I've done this before. I've done it a lot, actually. Going forward with this series, I will be taking you to a few countries. I've already got some plans. Like I said in the intro, I'm already planning to be in the Philippines in just over 2 weeks. After the Philippines, which I'll be coming back in March, end of March, I think, I'm not sure the order, but I will be going to Vietnam. Specifically, I'm going to Da Nang. I've been to Vietnam twice, to Saigon and also to Ho Chi Minh and to Hanoi. I've heard a lot of good things about living in Da Nang if you are working on the road. So I'm going to take you to Da Nang, and I plan to stay there maybe at least a month, maybe 2. We'll see how that goes. I have to come back here and do my visa because I have a year visa here. Then I'll be going to Japan for a couple weeks, so I'll take you to Japan, do a bit of content from Japan, maybe introduce a few people I know who still work there, work at schools and things. The usual gig in Japan for people who want to move abroad is teaching English. One of the things that, again, when I get into the video talking about what you could do, if you are especially a second-generation immigrant in Canada, the US, or Europe, or England, sorry, if you have native English skills and a second language, literally you could move to almost any country where English is not a first language and get a reasonable job. I kind of feel that if you're going to move abroad, you need to start trying to find work that has skills that are reproducible and expandable, something that you can take to another country and continue and build on and expand on. Many people now are doing, the digital nomad thing. They've got some hustle where they're, doing part-time this, part-time that, and that's fine. But the problem is, if you're in your 20s and then suddenly you're in your 40s and really you haven't built up a skill set that does not involve hustle, you are going to be in some trouble, possibly, when you get older, right? You haven't built up the kind of backing you need. Again, if you're successful doing it, more power to you. But most people are not, right? Which is fine. Like when I was, coming up, I lived on very little, right? Like when I was traveling around Europe, I was hitchhiking around Europe. I was literally sleeping beside highways, right? Because I just had no money. Even when someone stole my money, an American actually stole my money. A guy we trusted, we went up the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa with this guy. And when we were in the shower, we said, hey, watch our stuff. And then we all took turns going to the shower. I think we were in Fiesole or something in Italy. We come back, all of our money's gone, he's gone. I still wouldn't go home. I got back up to France. I just lived on a beach for 2 weeks, like literally lived on a beach for 2 weeks. So I'm all for that. I'm for traveling in whatever way you want. But if your goal is to find an alternative place to live and continue your work, then you probably need to set up stronger roots. You probably need to worry about visas more. So I'll be talking a lot about how you can get jobs in other countries, right? Certain skills can do that, certain skills cannot. If you're 50 years old and you don't like the outcome of the latest election and you've been a plumber all your life, you will find that skill a little bit difficult to transfer. But, I was a teacher for most of my life, and I didn't start software development, I think, until I was 44 or 45. I'm 59 now. That was an enormous jump, right? If you want to live abroad, you might have to do that. You might have to find something you can do a new skill set that will free you from being in one place and going to an office every day. Although when I worked at the bank here, I went to an office every day until COVID hit. I worked there all through COVID. Then, yeah, I worked from home. But still, you know, when we had the office, I would go to the office. And I loved it. I loved working in Thailand. I loved it. I was a regular guy paying my taxes. I had my little swipe card, you know, around my neck. And I would go to this fancy office building every day, work with some of the most amazing, dynamic young people from Thailand, we had a lot of people from Malaysia, India, Singapore. I think I was the only non-Asian in the whole team. We had a team of like 250 some odd people. I love that job. I think that's one of the most exciting jobs I've ever had. The hours were kind of killing me, that's all. But you might have to become a chameleon and morph a bit. But, you know, you can do it. You can do this stuff. So on that note, I'm going to finish up this video. I'm going to finish my coffee. I will get to work. I'm not going to start editing this thing yet. I can turn the camera around and I'll show you the beach before I take off. This is kind of where I'm sitting now. How do I just flip that around? There you go. There's the beach over there. All right, so that is Pattaya Beach. Zoom in there. All right. All right, everyone. So on that note, from sunny Thailand, this is the Coding Travelbug. Welcome to Thailand. And if you have any ideas, I don't think a lot of people will see this first video, but if you do watch it and you have any ideas or any questions, please leave some comments and help guide me on what I'm going to make, right? So this year you're going to see the Philippines, you're going to see Vietnam, you're going to see Japan, you'll probably see Cyprus. So you might get some non-Asian content as well. So we'll see how things go. On that note, everyone, you guys have a great day. Wherever you are in the world, stay tuned and enjoy the day. Take care. See ya.